Okay, so for this question, an insulated tube is filled with a large number n of lead spheres, each of mass m. The tube is inverted s times so that the spheres completely fall through an average distance of L each time. The temperature of the spheres is measured before and after the inversions, and then the resultant change in temperature is delta T. What is the specific heat capacity of lead? Okay, so clearly a problem that deals with specific heat capacity. The question is directly asking us. So eventually we need to find a value for C. If you look at the choices, there are a bunch of expressions. So, it looks overwhelming, but really we just have to take the problem step by step. Okay, so first realization here is because we have a concept of length or height, okay? First of all, if you can imagine, this particular tube is getting inverted. So you're moving it like this, like up and down, right? You're inverting that tube S number of times, all right? That's what it says here somewhere. Okay, and we'll each of mass m, there, inverted S number of times, okay? So these spheres here are traveling a distance, okay? Once I invert this tube, the spheres will be up here, they will drop down. All right, you're inverting it again, so they're gonna move to the opposite direction. So we have a concept of length or height, and whenever you're talking about energies and then you have heights or lengths involved, we often use GPE, right? Gravitational potential energy. So we can begin with that equation. We know that the gravitational potential energy is equal to mgh, okay? This is one of the basic formulas that you should know at this point. All right, so do we have information about the mass of these individual spheres and the mass of them in general? Yes. In fact, I can write the mass, okay, of all of these spheres the following way. I can write that as n times m. Now n, okay, if you read the question, represents the number of spheres, each having a mass of m, which is why I can't just use m in general. I need to multiply that by how many individual spheres I have. Therefore, m is basically going to become n, the number of spheres I have, times the mass of each one. Okay? G will stay the same. That's just gravity. Now, what will I put for h? What will I put for the height? Well, clearly, these spheres will travel a distance or a height of L, but it's not just going to travel that distance one time, okay? The problem's telling us that the tube is inverted S times. So meaning, if I invert this tube 2 times, that means my spheres will travel twice of L, okay? If this was only inverted once, then obviously my height will just be L. If I invert it twice, that's going to be 2L. If I invert it 3 times, that's going to be 3L, and so on. Therefore, the value for height here will be expressed through S, the number of times I'm inverting the tube, times the actual length, L. Okay? So this here is going to be my first equation to represent this situation. Okay, what else do I have to bring in? Well, ultimately, I want to figure out information about specific heat capacity. So what formula relates specific heat capacity and energy? Okay, well, that's Q equals mc delta T. All right, another formula that deals with energy, but now taking into account the mass, the specific heat capacity, and temperature. Okay, I can't really do anything about C. C is C. Temperature is temperature. However, I can re-express my M the same way I did it here. That's going to be written as Nm, because it's the number of spheres times the mass of each one, multiplied by C and the change in temperature. This here will be my second equation. Okay, I have 2 expressions for energies. Okay, what does that mean? I can set them equal to each other and solve for my unknown value, which is letter C. Okay, so if I do that, I will have set 1 equal to 2. That's going to be NmGSL equals NmC change in temperature. Okay, NM's here will cancel each other. If I move this to the other side, that's going to be GSL divided by delta time, leaves me with C. Okay, and if you look at our options, that SGL, GSL, same thing over T, therefore the answer should be letter B.